All right, it's the first episode of Coin Talk. It's going to be me, Candle, Aaron right here, just talking about finance, geopolitical stuff. Let's go, man.
Yep.
Let's do the first question.
Exciting.
First question, I'm just going to shoot for it.
All right, yeah.
It's going to have
let's
to
get
be,
into it.
can XRP reach $10,000?
I think XRP reaching $10,000 long term, I mean, anything's possible, especially with,
Okay.
how things could go with the US dollar and everything like that. But in the short term, no chance. Like, no fucking way. So
No fucking way that
no.
Not in the next 5 years?
No. Not
Next
in the
10
5
years?
No. And the XRP maxis may not like that, but I'm telling you guys my honest thoughts. But I want to know what you think. Do you think XRP can reach $10,000 in the next couple of years?
I think XRP can actually reach $10,000. I know that I know that sounds crazy, but XRP could really hit $10,000. You got to understand why XRP was built, why Ripple made XRP in the first place, and it was to basically replace the Swift banking system, which controls all the money, in the world. So if XRP replaces that, market cap goes out the window, and we could see XRP reach that $10,000 price tag, especially if all the money is, basically flowing through it in the entire world.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just kind of to expand on my thoughts is that right now XRP is sitting at like $1.50, something like that.
yeah, it's $1.
So to get there, it'd be like a 10,000x from here. And obviously, once again, if there's some sort of crazy hyperinflation that happens, which is possible, anything's possible, especially, in the world we live in today with this current administration. Not saying it's going to happen on this current administration, but history has shown that crazy things happen. Nobody expects it. So it's possible long term, but short term, no chance. So
okay, all right. So
no
like,
chance.
Aaron, what are your top 3 cryptocurrencies you're buying and holding right now?
So I'm just going to talk about altcoins because I don't want to talk about Bitcoin because everybody knows Bitcoin. Everyone's heard that whole story. So I would say my top 3 are Hyperliquid, number 1, Hype, Pump Fund, number 2, and the number 3 is Zcash. So those are my top 3 altcoins right now, and I can elaborate on why.
Yeah, why Hype?
Okay, so Hype I feel like is sort of the consensus of crypto Twitter right now, and it's, from my knowledge, the highest revenue generating platform in all of crypto right now. So they're doing extreme amounts of money, and they basically just partnered with the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, I think they're having some sort of feature or something is on Hyperliquid. I think I botched that right there of what exactly happened with that news, but they're doing a lot of work now with major institutions. So that's kind of what you want to see. Major institutions are the ones that have all the capital, all the money. And I think people are looking at Hyperliquid as a genuine alternative for, trading. So an example of why Hyperliquid's so special is that right now, oil is a big thing that's being traded, oil, commodities, all that other stuff. And on Hyperliquid, you can trade that on the weekend. It's 24/7 trading, which is not available on other platforms. So I think Hyperliquid has that massive advantage. Also, they have a cult-like following on Twitter. So this is something that, people, as someone who's been in crypto now and, been on CT for 6 years at this point, in a very aggressive fashion, like I've, sat on Twitter for all day.
So real
every day.
quick, so Hyperliquid allows you to trade oil.
Yes.
24/7.
24/7. Yes, 24/7.
And there's no other platform that offers that.
There's probably some other platforms that offer it, but because their competitors, Aster. So Aster is, Binance's DEX, Perp DEX. But Hyperliquid was the first one to get the market, I'm pretty sure. And also they have the team, the infrastructure, they have the distribution. So, once again, when it comes to software, most of the time it's, if a user comes on to Hyperliquid and they have a good experience, they're not just why would they leave it at that point?
100%.
If you're making bread on Hyperliquid, why are you going to leave it? So that's, in my opinion, the number 1 pick for altcoin.
Okay. And now the second coin you talked about was Pump.
Fund. Yeah.
Why Pump Fund?
So a lot of people are going to hate this. Pump Fund, I don't know if you see on Twitter, but they get a ton of shit and people hate them. The way I see it is, once again, I think behind Hyperliquid, they're the second most highest revenue generating platform all crypto. I consider them the big beta on the entire crypto ecosystem. Whether you like it or not, they made over $1 billion cash. Okay. And also the trenches, meme coins, all that stuff. It's really, besides stable coins and things like a perp DEX like Hyperliquid, it's the next biggest market in terms of where people actually place their money. People are launching shit coins. People are launching meme coins, and Pump Fund.
It's just a
It's
platform.
It's where it's happening.
It's just a platform for people to launch and create their own tokens.
And and you could also argue, with Pump Fund, their live stream that they had, which it went kind of viral. In terms of, besides I would say Bitcoin and XRP, I would say Pump Fund's probably the most known thing out to normies, people who are not into crypto. Because they had that one kid. I don't know if you saw the one kid who would streak the field. He would run on the baseball field.
Yeah.
Bag work.
That was a good coin. That was a good coin. I'm not even gonna lie. They really was working for that bag. All right, so Pump Fund makes sense. Now, do you think, just relating this to Pump Fund, do you think people are ever going to stop creating meme tokens?
No, I think I think you could agree with me on this. It's another version of a casino.
Yeah.
So, and people aren't going to like this. And once again, it is kind of dystopian. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but gambling, you can look at sports books. You can look at just like, MGM casino type things, online gambling. It's, up and to the right. Like,
it just keeps going. People, they can't help but be degenerate.
Yes.
Basically.
And I think, Pump Fund is not going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean,
no, I honestly, I think people love gambling. I think people love getting on Pump Fund, going live, and making meme coins. I think they're addicted to it. So as long as that addiction stays around, and it's been around for, hundreds and hundreds of years, Pump Fund ain't going out of business.
Yeah, and you know what the biggest thing I see with Pump Fund and people online is I think people get way too emotional when it comes to how they view things. So it's like with Pump, do I agree everyone should be addicted to gambling meme coins and doing sportsbook and that? Yeah. No, I don't think it's good for society. But once again, people vote with their money. And when you take a look at how people voted with their money in crypto, I mean, Pump Fund did over $1 billion cash. Yeah. So you have to, you got to respect that.
You got to respect it. All right. So the third one was Zcash.
Zcash. So Zcash, I think is, and I don't want to even get technical with it because I can't really explain it in a high level of why it's different from something like Monero. In terms of like
I could break it down, but what
my
is
main
Zcash?
bull case is really because Mert is just constantly posting about it, and also the Winklevoss twins. So most of the people who are watching this probably know Gemini, or the people who Mark Zuckerberg stole the Facebook idea from. Those guys are behind Zcash as well. They started a treasury company for Zcash, so basically they're buying Zcash with like they're just like 8 figures, like just aping fat bags. The Winklevoss twins.
Do you know why they're doing that, or like what's the reason?
Trying to make money. I mean, I think they're doing the same thing Saylor's doing with MicroStrategy, but for Zcash.
Got it.
But I think it really comes down to the same, and you can apply this to Pump Fund and Hyperliquid. Zcash has a lot of attention. Mert, who's like the big Zcash promoter, who also does a bunch of other things. He's arguably, and in my opinion, the strongest player on crypto Twitter right now. And whenever that guy talks about a token, it moves. And he was the first one to kind of kick off that Zcash rally. When we saw it go from like, I don't know, $40 to $700. It was him. And then Arthur Hayes, the founder of BitMEX. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who that is. Handsome.
Are they still talking about Zcash right now?
Yeah.
Even though so the market's down, there's hardly any liquidity right now, and they're still just...
It just pumped from, I think, right about... it bottomed out, I think 2 months ago around 180 or something, and it's sitting out around 360 right now. So I think it's about 2x. So over, 100% from the bottom it had 2 months ago.
Okay. So, all right. So for the people who don't really know, like what's the utility for Zcash?
Yeah. So Zcash is a privacy coin. I can't exactly explain what
it does.
Yeah.
I could, if you want me to.
Yeah, no, if you want to explain it. Yeah.
So, but like you said, Zcash is a privacy token, and what it allows people to do is basically hide their transactions.
Yep.
Right? So, but what Zcash does gives you a choice.
Yeah.
Do you want to hide this transaction, or do you want to have this transaction show as public?
Yep.
Right? So it's kind of like it's like a truly decentralized type of coin, but it's also centralized. It gives you the choice to be centralized.
Yeah.
Where it says, hey, look, you could see these transactions.
Well, that's the thing. I've looked into some of the ecosystem with it, like the Zashi wallet and some of that stuff. It's just when I look at like whether I'm going to buy a coin or not, it's not if I can come, like, I don't exactly understand all the niche things when it comes to the Solana blockchain or the Bitcoin blockchain. I don't understand SHA-256 for Bitcoin, to a T, but there's I think those are not really the driving factors. Of course, that's like kind of the underhood, the things that keep the project stable. But I think in terms of an investor standpoint, I'm looking, okay, they have a ridiculous amount of attention online, and they have billionaires who are just aping in, 8-figure bags.
So it's not even like, so what you're basically saying, it's like, it's not even the utility that drives the token price.
Yeah,
it's
no, I
the
don't.
attention.
If I don't think the people are talking about Zcash on Twitter, it's not moving. I mean, that's just
That's just a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, no, let's just be completely honest here. I mean, if you look at the Zcash chart, it basically ran flat, almost flat for like, I don't know, 5 years, and then suddenly Arthur Hayes, Ansem, Mert, Winklevoss twins, they all start to talk about on Twitter all at once, and a couple other people, and the price goes.
That's it. Yeah. So now, real quick, I wanna go to the next question real quick.
Okay.
So if you only had $1,000, what would be the best way to invest into crypto in 2026?
Yeah, I guess if I had $1,000, I would do, if we're gonna include Bitcoin, I would say 500 Bitcoin, and then I would say probably 300 of Hyperliquid, $100 in Pump and Zcash. So
boom. Okay.
yeah. What about for you? What would you say is the best thing for a crypto investor if they only have $1,000?
For me, I think I wouldn't go Bitcoin. I feel like Bitcoin's overrated.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would say probably around 500 in XRP.
Okay.
Right. I'll do $250 in LCX.
Yeah. Ooh.
Dude.
That's a curveball.
Yeah,
That's you know,
I have to. Yeah.
Real ones know what LCX is. Yeah.
Come on, bro. It's the best. It's the best. One of the best platforms for tokenization. I feel like it's the only platform that's actually tokenizing real world assets. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And for the third coin, I'll throw $250 into HBAR.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you, man. Like I'm starting to become like a little bit of a HBAR maxi.
And I want to say for XRP, I think, you know, I was talking a lot of shit about it at the beginning. I mean, not really, but I think the biggest thing XRP does have, and you could talk about this, is how much distribution they have. I mean, besides Bitcoin, it's the most popular coin. And a lot of people on crypto Twitter are going to get upset about this and not understand this. But when you go outside the crypto bubble and you talk to normal people, you talk to your, Uber driver, etc., just normal people, not people who are addicted to crypto Twitter, they all know what XRP is. I mean,
and I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like, for me, talking about crypto for like over 5 years, right? Yeah. I talk about Bitcoin, no one cares. I talk about XRP, everyone's watching.
Yep.
So like you said, yeah, we could go into an Uber right now. We could talk about XRP. They're going to know what XRP is, but a lot of people are going to know what the hell Bitcoin is, or do they even care to talk about Bitcoin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really the community that XRP has. Like XRP, and I'll be honest with you, like even me, like I'm brainwashed for XRP. At this point. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's how the community is. The community ain't selling. They believe that XRP can actually replace the Swift banking system and just take over the entire global financial system. Like that's crazy, but people believe this. People are holding, and Bitcoin maxis, Solana maxis, they get upset about that.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, why do you keep holding this coin? Right, and it's people believe what it's actually going to do.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like they're holding. They believe in it. That's the point of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody, I was literally in an Uber the other day, and I was just like kind of trying to get a feel for I was just asking him. I say, what cryptos? He says, I know Bitcoin, I know XRP, and that's it. They don't know anything else. And a lot of people, once again, they're not going to understand why, but that's just the way it is.
100%.
So
and I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, like, if I'm gonna put any money, I'm gonna put money into XRP. That's where I'm putting most of my money.
It's
right. Especially
it's 100% not a bad bet. I mean, everybody knows about it.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. I mean, I could go on TikTok right now. There's 300 or 400 people on a live sitting just conversating about it.
That's what you want. You need bag holders. So
yeah, 100%. That's exactly what you need. Now, like, real quick, like what's your prediction on Bitcoin? Where do you think Bitcoin could go? We got to talk about a little bit about Bitcoin too.
Man, I think I want to say 200K, but then I feel I don't know, somewhere around 200K next cycle.
You think that is next cycle, like 200?
Yeah.
Or what do you think? Like, where do you think the max price for Bitcoin? Do you believe in the Michael Saylor $1 million?
I think it's possible it could reach $1 million long term, but it's just going to take time. Once again, it's like. Bitcoin's at $1 million. What does the purchasing power of the US dollar look like? Are we buying, is a Big Mac $40 at that point? So it's like, it could reach $1 million. It could go to $10 million, but what does the purchasing power of the dollar look like? How does,
No, yeah, 100%.
Like if you're going out and buying a Big Mac for $50, then and Bitcoin's $1 million, it doesn't really matter. So
if you could like, just like predict, if you could just throw a little prediction out there, right? At what time, what year you think? We're in 2026 right now. You think by 2030 we could see $1 million Bitcoin?
No chance.
No chance?
Nope. I mean, there's chance. Like anything's possible. Like we talked about in the beginning with the 10,000 XRP.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say no.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think so. What about you? Do you think it could?
I think it could. I think it could definitely reach $1 million. Now, I'm going to be on the side where I think Bitcoin can actually die eventually. I think XRP could take over Bitcoin and surpass it and replace it. Honestly, that's just my opinion. And with everything right now, with the war, U.S. versus Iran right now, we're kind of seeing like people just kind of like flock to gold instead, right? And I think that's interesting. Where a lot of people, their argument in the beginning was kind of like, oh, like Bitcoin was built to replace gold.
Yeah,
right.
I never was a big fan of that.
So if it was built to replace gold, then why is gold rising right now, and why is Bitcoin dropping?
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, when the whole thing about Bitcoin, and you can even apply this to gold, is it's zoom out, look at it long term. So I don't think it's necessary. I don't really care about the short term price action of Bitcoin. I believe in it long term. Of course, once again, the quantum, the risk of quantum, destroying Bitcoin is a real thing. Whether Bitcoin maxis like it or not, you have to, and this is a big part of just life. It's you have to understand there are risks and vulnerabilities, and I don't think Bitcoin's flawless. At the end of the day, technology does get disrupted. And that's the one thing gold has is it's existed for, as store value for 5,000 years. So that's, I know there's the whole thing of, I don't know if you've seen the clip where the Winklevoss twins are talking with Dave Portnoy about how Elon Musk is going to send up fucking spaceships to asteroids and mine the gold, and the gold's going to come down plentiful, gold's going to go to zero.
Bro,
you ever seen that clip?
I've seen that.
I made a video on that in 2021 on TikTok, and people got so upset. I was playing I was like, gold's going to fucking zero, I was a dumbass little kid.
Gold's up as shit right now.
Yeah.
Silver's up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's stay on the crypto topic real quick. So, I think the biggest question too people have right now, are altcoins dead like Ethereum? Yeah. Is like altcoins dead? I know your top 3 were, 3 altcoins, right?
Zcash.
Is Ethereum dead? Like,
yeah, I don't like it.
Cardano dead? Like,
I don't like Ethereum at all. And anyone, I guess, who's followed me throughout the years kind of knows that. I think it's the thing it has a large amount of stable coins on the network, and also has a ton of bag holders. And I think it's kind of like, people wonder, why did Cardano pump? Why does Cardano have such a high market cap?
Yeah.
They don't even have stable coins really on their network like Ethereum does, but why do they have like a $10 billion market cap? It's because they have so many bag holders and so many whales. And I think I think Ethereum, I've said this for years, I think it's, kind of, I don't know if I'm making the right comparison, but sort of I'm trying to find I think it's IBM or Intel, one of them, but I think it's going to, slowly dwindle and not really see the, progress